Stephen Coreno, RDS Sports. We're here with the one and only Mikaela Mayer. Good to see you. Here we are inside, Camp Terence Crawford. I know we've talked about this fight before. Just when you watch Terence, I feel like you're kind of watching him, just kind of absorbing stuff, right? Maybe like, I don't know, what is it, mentality or technique and stuff? What is it you take from Terence that you're kind of like, oh, you know what, I need to get on this level?
Yeah, when you watch him, it's just, it's really a spectacle to watch because he's just so smooth. He has different great angles, great speed. I love his punch variety. You never really know what he's going to come with next, and that's one of the reasons I think he's such a great fighter. He's so difficult to train for. You got to train for an orthodox, you got to train for a southpaw at the same time because he switches, and his speed and his accuracy and his movement, his footwork. So he's like the full package to me.
When was the first time, what's one of your first memories of Terence Crawford where you saw him and you were like, oh, that's Terence, and then you kind of were like, oh, okay, I see what they're saying is special about him?
God, I don't know, but I've done a handful of camps with Terence, and not full camps, but in and out because we both do part of our training camps up in Colorado Springs. So I've been in his camps working with him. I couldn't even tell you the first time I remember hearing about Terence. It's been a long time, but yeah, I've seen him work. I know his dedication and the hours he puts in. So yeah, I'm a fan. I'm excited for this fight.
How does Terence get it done July 29th?
Using his versatility. He's so versatile. He can do so many different things. I'm a huge fan of Errol Spence too. I've been watching him for years. I came up with him in the amateurs together. I have a lot of respect for him. I think I've studied him as well, his jab, his body work. But I think the difference is going to be Terence's versatility because, you can look at someone like Spence and come up with a game plan, come up with a strategy and how to train for it and how to fight him. It's really hard to do that with Terence. You just don't know what he's going to do. You don't know what you're going to get.
Did you say you met Spence in the amateurs? Was that when he was in the amateurs as well?
Yeah, because I came up. I was the runner-up for the 2012 Olympic team. Made it to the finals of the Olympic trials, and he was on the Olympic team that year. So I went to London as a training partner for Queen Underwood, who was the Olympian in 2012. And so we were together in the amateurs for years.
What's one of your first memories of Spence kind of back in those days?
God. Just a kid from Texas. Just the lefty from Texas. Oh, I remember a really good memory because he had a very controversial decision in the amateurs where he was like one of the last fights in the amateurs to protest. Back then, if you didn't believe the decision was accurate, you could literally protest the decision and they could reverse it, and they did. They reversed the decision. He got back into the next round. So that was one of the last years they ever did that, but it was definitely warranted. It was worthy, and I'm glad he got back into it because he totally deserved that win. But yeah.
That's right. He fought the Russian after that, right? And then that was, yeah. I think, lost that one.
It was the next one he lost, yeah.
I know everyone talks about Terence being competitive. Do you have like a competitive Terence story that he maybe was competitive with you in something that, I don't know, you guys mess around with something, play games or anything like that?
He's definitely competitive. I remember one time we were all in the gym. He had just shown up for training camp, just shown up. And some bigger guy needed 10 rounds of sparring. He jumped right into the ring and gave this big ass dude 10 rounds of sparring, just right from, we're training in altitude, so it takes time to acclimate to the altitude. He hadn't been in camp. He really wasn't even in shape, and he just jumped in there and went a whole 10 rounds. It was pretty badass, but he just likes to fight.
How did he do with that big dude?
Great. Totally composed, scoring. Yeah, he's just slick. He's so relaxed and slick.
I asked Jenny that same question, and he has any competitive Terence stories, and she said that because she was a competitive runner at LSU, that they're supposed to run the mile, but I guess Terence hasn't done it yet. I was like, is Terence ducking you? She started laughing. She's like, I don't know.
We were all just talking the other day on FaceTime, and Jenny was calling him out for that, and he's like, next time you're here, we're doing it, because Jenny's competitive like that too. Jenny thinks she can beat anyone in running, and it's like, okay, Jenny.
She sounds very confident.
Yeah. She's fast, I'm not going to lie, but Terence Crawford is Terence Crawford.
I saw you at the fights this Saturday, so I know you didn't watch the Alicia Baumgartner fight. Have you seen it since?
I haven't. I have not watched the fight. And not that I wouldn't. I was at my teammate's fight, the PPC cards out here in Vegas, so I still got to go back and watch it.
What's next for you? What's the latest?
So I just got my fight date confirmed. I had an idea of when it would be. I was originally supposed to go back on Zhang versus Joyce versus Zhang 2 as the co-main, but that changed. So now they just put me on another card. It's going to be in the UK. I can say that in September. So I should know the next few days about the opponent. It's going to be at 140 though. I can't tell you that. I'm moving up to 140. 135 was still, because I had allowed myself to put on a little more muscle for that camp and, ate a little bit more comfortably. I did that. I put on some muscle. And so it was still a really big cut for me to get to 35. And I just feel like it's time to let my body fill out and see, what I can accomplish this version of me. So I'm excited. I'm going to 140 for this. And honestly, I'm literally walking around at almost 160 right now. So 47 is next.
You feel strong at 140? You feel like you'll fill out a little better?
I feel so much more comfortable in training and everything. I feel fast. I feel strong. I feel I have more energy. Like I got used to that feeling for so long that I didn't realize how exhausting I was exhausted I always was. So I feel really good. I'm just excited because I know there's a lot of big fights for me. And if you think about it, all these girls are moving to 147. Chantel told me she's moving to 147 after the Katie rematch. You got Sandy Ryan up there, who's another great prospect coming up. A lot of respect for her. What's her name? McCaskill's up there, obviously. So Tasha Jonas. So I just think at this stage of my career, I want big names, I want big fights, and that's where I got to go.
Mikaela at 140 is going to be a force to reckon with for sure. Mikaela, tell the fans where they can follow you and just hopefully see the announcement, see the opponent, all that stuff.
Yeah, I will be announcing soon, so stay tuned on Mikaela Mayer 1 on Twitter and at Mikaela Mayer on Instagram.
How are the dogs?
Dogs are great. They're here with me, obviously. I drove here from Colorado to start camp. I'm doing my whole camp here in Vegas and training here at the PI, so they're obviously with me. Come on.
Thank you so much. Appreciate your time.